Okay, good evening and welcome to another edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. We're in Season 4 and this is Episode 71. And tonight on this second episode of the new season, we'll be looking at an interesting toy. Now, we'll go back to the console wars next time with the games. But we're going to look at a very interesting toy that one of our new subscribers who uses this toy in their line of work on their YouTube channel says, why not? So we're going to look at it. It's a very interesting piece of Americana, as our subscribers are, I guess, a husband and wife. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Looks more like a husband and wife, I would think. Yep, and I apologize if I got that wrong. Susie and John, they have a YouTube channel called ViewMaster for You. Yeah, we're going to be looking at the ViewMaster. That's right, tonight on this September 18, 2025, episode 71, the ViewMaster, coming up right after these very important messages. Okay, welcome to the show, and welcome to the second episode of the new season as well. Yep, and I hope you had a great time with the Atari 7800, as the views for that particular toy shot up very nicely. But we're going to be looking at the trademark name of a line of special format stereoscopes and corresponding ViewMaster reels, which are thin cardboard discs containing 7 stereoscopic 3D pairs of small transparent color photographs on film. It was originally manufactured and sold by SAWYER'S. So we're looking at the ViewMaster system. It was introduced in 1939, 4 years after the advent of Kodachrome. Color film made the use of small, high-quality photographic color images practical. Tourist attraction and travel views predominated in ViewMaster's early list of reels, most of which were meant to be of interest to users of all ages. Most current ViewMaster reels are intended for children. So let's delve into this, courtesy of our new subscribers, Susie and John, at ViewMaster for You. And this is for you guys. It all started with Edwin Eugene Mayer, who worked as a pharmacist at Owl Drug Store in downtown Portland, Oregon. After serving in the U.S. Army in World War I, he built up a photo finishing business there and bought into SAWYER'S photo finishing service in 1919 with the help of his father, August Mayer, or Meyer. I guess it's Mayer, his fiancée, Eva McNulty, and her sister, V. McNulty. Edwin described how he started the business in a letter dated April 1st, 1954. Suffice it to say that in 1919, what little it was purchased with borrowed money, about $3,500. That was the money from Dad, aided by about $1,600 in insurance money Eva got when her father died, and which was left in permanently, and the $1,600 borrowed from V and repaid, along with Dad's notes, within a few years. As the business grew, Ed Mayer incorporated in about 1926, taking on partners Harold and Both F. Graves, Thomas and Pauline Meyer, and Augusta and Raymond F. Kelly, renaming the business Sawyer Service, Inc. The company relocated to a large 2-story building at 181 Ellis Street near Morrison Street in Portland, Oregon. The company was producing photographic postcards and album sets as souvenirs by 1926 when Harold Graves joined SAWYER'S. Graves handled marketing for the products while Mayer ran the business. Later, photographic greeting cards were added to the SAWYER'S product line, marketed to major department stores. SAWYER'S was the nation's largest producer of scenic postcards in the 1920s, and the future ViewMaster viewer eventually became an extension of the two-dimensional cards. The company took the first steps towards developing the ViewMaster after Edwin Mayer and Graves met with William Gruber, an organ maker of German origin trained by Welt and Sons, and an avid photographer living in Portland. Mayer and Gruber had both developed devices for viewing stereo images, but Gruber had made up a stereo imaging rig out of two Kodak Bantam Specials mounted together on a tripod. He designed a machine that mounted the tiny pieces of Kodachrome color transparency film into reels made from very heavy stock paper. A special viewer was also designed and produced. He had the idea of updating the old-fashioned stereoscope by using the new Kodachrome 16mm color film, which had recently become available. A ViewMaster reel holds 14 film transparencies in 7 pairs that create the 7 stereoscopic images. The components of each pair are viewed simultaneously, one by each eye, thus simulating binocular depth perception. According to a 1960 court document, the Gruber-Sawyer partner venture began from that first meeting in 1938. Thereafter, Ed Mayer negotiated with Gruber while production methods and some marketing were developed. A formal agreement was signed in February of 1942 between Gruber and Sawyer partners, doing business as SAWYER'S. Mayer and people within the SAWYER'S organization were uncertain about what to call the new product, but they eventually settled on the name of ViewMaster. The ViewMaster brand name eventually came to be recognized by 65% of the world's population, but Gruber disliked the name, believing that it sounded too much like Toastmaster, Mixmaster, or some other kitchen appliance. The ViewMaster was introduced at the 1939 New York World's Fair, marked Patent Applied For. It was intended as an alternative to the scenic postcard and was originally sold at photography shops, stationery stores, and scenic attraction gift shops. The main subjects of ViewMaster reels were Carlsbad Caverns and the Grand Canyon. The ViewMaster was marketed through Mayer's Photo Finishing, postcard and greeting card company, Sawyer's Service, Inc., known eventually as Sawyer's, Inc. The partnership led to the retail sales of ViewMaster viewers and reels. The patent for the viewing device was issued in 1940, and this original model came to be called the Model A Viewer. Within a very short time, the ViewMaster supplanted the postcard business at Sawyer's. Mayer gave details of the company's expansion in a letter dated April 1st, 1954. In 1939, 20 years after starting the business, we had, by dint of hard work and long hours and frugal living, accumulated a business, Sawyer's, worth about $58,000, and Western Photo Supply Company, owning the buildings, worth about $30,000. The above figures were for the total business and buildings owned by the Kellys, Graves, Mayers, and Myers. In 1946, we had already grown a lot from 1939, and Sawyer's made a lease with Western Photo Supply Company, they to build and lease 2 new buildings to Sawyer's, and in addition to the 2 we already had. At this point, Sawyer's also decided to change its structure from a partnership to a corporation for various good reasons, one of which was to permit our children to participate in the stock ownership. In the 1940s, the United States military recognized the potential for ViewMaster products for personnel training, purchasing 100,000 viewers at nearly 6 million reels from 1942 to the end of World War II in 1945. After the development of the ViewMasters, Sawyer's, Inc. moved into a new building at 735 Southwest 20th Place in downtown Portland. The company also occupied a building next door at 740 Southwest 21st Avenue. In 1951, Mayer and his Sawyer's partners built a large plant in Washington County, Oregon, and after moving to the new plant, Mayer leased the building on 20th Place to Oregon Television, Inc. In 1951, Sawyer's purchased TRU-VUE, the main competitor of ViewMaster. The takeover included TRU-VUE's licensing rights to Walt Disney Studios properties, Sawyer's capitalized on the opportunity and produced numerous reels featuring Disney characters. Then in '55, reels of the newly opened Disneyland were produced. Joe Liptak was the artist responsible for most of the Disney and the early Hanna-Barbera reels. In 1952, Sawyer's began its ViewMaster Personal line, which included the ViewMaster Personal stereo camera for users to make their own ViewMaster reels. It was successful at first, but the line was discontinued in 10 years. This line spawned the Model D viewer, ViewMaster's highest quality viewer, which was available until the early 70s, and the Stereomatic 500, ViewMaster's only 3D projector. The other projectors were 2D and used only one of the images. The Model E was introduced in 1955 with a more modern design, large ivory buttons on the picture changer levers, and a large V-slot on top for easier reel insertion. It was released in brown and black in the United States and some other colors elsewhere. It was about 4 inches high, 5 inches wide, and 4 inches deep. The Model F was introduced in 1958. It used C-cell batteries to power an internal lighting source. Industrial designer Chuck Harrison led the team designing the Model F ViewMaster. To the 60s, the ViewMaster had been originally constructed from Kodak plastic and then Bakelite, a hard, sturdy, somewhat heavy plastic. In 1962, lighter thermoplastic versions were introduced, beginning with the Model G, a change driven by Sawyer's president Bob Brost. In 1966, Sawyer's was acquired by the General Aniline and Film Corporation and became a wholly owned subsidiary. Under GAF's ownership, ViewMaster reels began to feature fewer scenic and more child-friendly subjects, such as toys and cartoons. Television series were featured on ViewMaster reels such as Doctor Who, sold only in the UK, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Star Trek, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Family Affair, Here's Lucy, and the Beverly Hillbillies. Actor Henry Fonda appeared in a series of TV commercials for the GAF ViewMaster. From 1970 to around 1997, GAF produced a talking ViewMaster, which included audio technology along with the reels. 3 major designs were produced with increasing sophistication. In the early 70s, GAF introduced the ViewMaster rear screen projector, a tabletop projector that displayed images from picture wheels. In 1980, ViewMaster released the Show Beam projector, a toy that combined the company's stereoscopic images and flashlight technology to produce a portable handheld projector. The Show Beam used small film cartridges that were plugged into the side of the toy. Each cartridge contained 30 full-color 2D images. In 1981, GAF sold ViewMaster to a group of investors headed by Arnold Thaler, and the company was reconstituted as the ViewMaster International Group. By '85, ViewMaster Video was introduced. Through a partnership with Warner Brothers Records, a live-action educational video series was produced by Together Again Productions entitled Kids Songs, designed for the educational market. ViewMaster International acquired the Ideal Toy Company in '84 and became known as the ViewMaster Ideal Group, and the combined company was purchased by Tyco Toys in 1989. Tyco, including the ViewMaster Ideal Group, merged with Mattel in '97. ViewMaster was assigned to Mattel's preschool division and is now marketed under the Fisher-Price imprint with a continued emphasis on children's content. To 1998, during the purchase of the Tyco-owned plant by Mattel, the EPA investigated the ViewMaster factory supply well for the toxic chemical trichloroethylene. The plant was closed in 2001. In December of 2008, Mattel ceased production of the scenic reels depicting tourist attractions that were descendants of the first ViewMaster reels sold in 1939. However, Mattel continued to produce reels featuring animated characters. In 2015 of February, Mattel announced a collaboration with Google to produce a new version of the ViewMaster called the ViewMaster Virtual Reality Viewer, based on a virtual reality using smartphones. This new ViewMaster is an implementation of the Google Cardboard VR platform and is accompanied by a mobile app built using its SDK. Content is displayed on a smartphone screen. The phone itself is inserted into the back of the unit, and instead of being inserted directly into the ViewMaster, reels are scanned using an augmented reality interface that enables access to content from the reel, such as the 360-degree panoramas, 3D models, and mini games. Wow. Greenbot considered the ViewMaster to be the best low-cost cardboard viewer, citing its build quality and comfort over models actually constructed from cardboard, but noting that the latch mechanism for securing the phone inside was not tight enough, and that there was no headphone jack access. It was felt that the ViewMaster VR was the kind of thing you might grab as a gift for the kids, but if you're curious about virtual reality on your phone, chances are you'll use it as much as they do. In 2016, an updated iteration known as the DLX was released, and it features improvements to its compatibility with smaller phones, a more secure latch for the phone compartment, and also adds focal adjustment and a headphone port. Both editions of the ViewMaster VR were discontinued in November of 2019, and the experience packs can no longer be installed by new users. In 2019, Mattel partnered with MGM to announce an upcoming feature film based on the ViewMaster. The project will be co-piloted by Robbie Brenner of Mattel's Films division and MGM's Cassidy Lang. There have been some 25 viewer models, thousands of titles, and 1.5 billion reels produced. The basic design remained the same for the reels and internal mechanisms, despite its long history and many changes in models and materials, ensuring that every reel will work in every mode. Then in 1999, ViewMaster was part of the second year of inductees added to the National Toy Hall of Fame. The ViewMaster is in the Strong National Museum of Play, the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn Smithsonian National Museum of American History, the Denver Art Museum, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, amongst other collections. In 2025, the Chuck Harrison design models from the early 60s were included in Pirouette, Turning Points in Design, which is an exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art featuring widely recognized design icons highlighting pivotal moments in design history. Reels have been produced for Disneyland, many TV shows such as The Flying Nun, Lost in Space, and The Munsters, blockbuster movies such as The Positian Adventure, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park, and the U.S. military for airplane and ship identification as well as range estimation. David L. Bassett, an expert on autonomy and dissection, collaborated with Gruber to create a 25-volume atlas of human anatomy using the ViewMaster system. ViewMaster produced custom reels for commercial customers to show 3D images of products and services to potential clients. For example, in the early 1990s, Canadian restaurant chain Eastside Mario's used a ViewMaster reel as the dessert menu. And among the newest ViewMaster products are a Discovery Channel ViewMaster, the new virtual viewer, the Discovery Channel ViewMaster projector and telescope, and the ViewMaster 3D Pocket Viewer, which feature images of popular performers in concert and backstage. And there you have it, friends. A very interesting look at a very interesting toy that goes all the way back to 1919 at the turn of the century. Wow, the ViewMaster in all of its shape and glory. And I wonder if you ever owned a ViewMaster in your time. I think I did, and I had some fun with it, but not as much fun as most people would get into. What I would like to do is interview the subscribers who sub to the channel as of today. That's a ViewMaster for you. I'd like to have you on as with an audio interview about your times with the ViewMaster, how you got your channel started, and it'll be one of the very first interviews on this show in our new season. So we'll hopefully set that up, and if you're listening, please drop us a line in the comment section as to when and what day you want to do the when you want to do the interview. That's what we're going to have for you. Next up, when we come back on our program, we'll look at, again, on the console wars, with a look at the Intellivision. That'll be episode number 72 on Jay's Retro Toys and Games. I'm Jason DeCanio. Thank you very much for a great time here. We will see you the next time. Till then, bye for now.